Hi guys, so it is time for another walk and talk. So it's been, I think, over a month since my last one. I actually meant to have this one up sooner because I want to kind of talk about kind of like goals and challenges and stuff of the year. But the way I've just been working the last couple of weeks, I have had no time to go for a walk in the daytime. It's all been in the nighttime. So by the time I get home from work, it has just been pitch black and foggy and stuff and cold, and then the weekends I've been working a couple of the weekends as well, so again by the time I'm finished it's been dark and I haven't had the time to go on for like a long walk, which is the type of walk I want to do on these kind of things. What are you doing, Luna? What are you doing? You're a messer. You're a messer. Messer. You're gonna fall into the water. Hey? So I'm finally happy to be out and having this walk because it just feels like a breath of fresh air and not in like, you know, the obvious way. I just really needed to get out and go for like a proper walk with the dogs where they weren't on their leads and we weren't restricted to paths and roads and stuff like that. Just needed something a bit more out and free and stuff like that. So yeah, and especially this morning because last night and this morning I've just been like in a rotten mood, so I just needed to get out and go for a walk and have a bit of space to myself and just time to just relax, you know. Just, you know, almost knocked down by a cyclist, but that's fine because cyclists are always right, aren't they? It's okay to cycle at that speed on a path that's meant for walkers. So yeah, sorry, pet peeve. I'm not a mad fan of cyclists as a walker or as a driver, so yeah, they just annoy me a lot of the time. So I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit today about kind of goals and stuff, because it's the time of year where like everyone has their favourites and least favourites and stuff of the year, but a lot of people are also talking about their reading goals of the year and stuff like that, and I have never done a reading goals video because it's not something that I'm into. Reading for me it's something I do for pleasure, which is what everyone reads for, but I don't know, for me, reading challenges like that and reading goals like that, just, I don't know, I just don't like, I guess, the pressure maybe they put me under. Like, I don't ever want to feel like reading is a chore or work, or, you know, if I don't do a certain something that I'm like failing at my reading. Like, no, like, that's not what I want. And like, if goals are for other people, then that's fine. I'm just afraid that if I do challenges and goals, I will maybe end up kind of resenting them by the end of the year if I haven't, you know, achieved them in any way. My reading like challenge on Goodreads is 250, but that's because I did get that last year, and I've already like a couple of times this week have been behind on that, but that's not a big deal to me. Like, I don't really mind that because I know that I'll have some kind of shorter books at some point in the year where I will catch up on that, but at the same time I'm not going to feel like a massive failure if I don't do that. It's just something with Goodreads, it's just kind of one of those nice kind of ways to track the books that you have read. And I've also been using Brock's reading spreadsheet this year, which I've really enjoyed so far. It just kind of makes me feel like super nerdy, and again, that isn't anything to do with reading challenges or reading goals. That is just simply to do with just having those little bit of extra information, like, you know, an average star rating, where all your books are set, your average, like, you know, like what percentage of genres you've read, like that kind of stuff that you don't really get in Goodreads. I really enjoy so far being able to see that on Brock's reading spreadsheet, so that is really great, and I just love the act of filling that out as well. It's really fun when I start a new book and I'm able to fill all that out. So I just managed to finish my audiobook that I've been reading the last couple of weeks on this walk. I had 3 chapters left when I got home last night, and which was really annoying. I would have liked to have finished it like on my way home. The thing with me is I can't listen to audiobooks when I'm just like sitting down and doing something. It just, I don't know, I feel real antsy or something. I don't like that. I feel like I always need to be like up and doing something, where I feel like with audiobooks I need to be walking around. I can only listen to audiobooks if I'm out on a walk or if I'm walking from like the office to the train. That's really the only times I ever listen to audiobooks. So I managed to finish off that audiobook on the way on this walk up to where we are now, where I started filming. and it was The Invasion of the Tearling by Erica Johansson, which is the second book in the Tearling trilogy, and it was really good. I think I'm gonna give it like a 4 out of 5 stars. The first one was like a 5 out of 5 stars for me, where with this one I think, I don't know, I feel like some stuff happened that like is just really weird and like doesn't make that much sense, and you're a bit like, but like it's like tied into like our world in a way, or a dystopian version of our world, and then it's like a fantasy world all mixed into one, and you're kind of like, yeah, but like where does the magic fit into it? And yeah, so there are parts of it I really enjoyed. I really enjoy the characters and stuff like that, and I enjoy the world, but there are other bits that just kind of left me feeling a little bit confused. And there were some bits that were like, there'd be a massive trigger warning for this book in particular in terms of sexual assault and rape and stuff like that, and just domestic abuse as well, because there was a character that was dealing with all of that, and there was one point where her rape was trivialized by another character because the other character had been through basically some worse things, I guess, in life, and when she realized the other one had been raped, she was like, well, at least it was only by one guy, and didn't really make a big deal about the fact that she had been raped. And I don't know, I just didn't really like that. I was just like, yeah, but she's still been assaulted in like one of the worst ways you can be assaulted. Just because it was by one man doesn't mean that it's anything less. Yeah, it just, it gave me kind of one of those feelings. Oh, of course, right in the middle of the path, as always. I'm almost at the end of this path, so I guess we will go back the way we came. I don't go too far. I normally don't go past that bend, but the dogs love this walk, which is why I brought them today, even though they get soaking wet. My reading this, like so far this year, has been really good. Like it's been mostly like 4.5, like a lot of 4-star reads, some 5-star reads already. I'm really happy with my reading so far. I've been reading really good books, so that makes me very happy. It's nice to kind of start off the year with a strong selection of books, but like the only thing I would say this year in terms of like reading goals, which isn't really a reading goal, I think I'm going to be a little bit more like, I don't know, I'm going to be a little bit more thoughtful maybe about the books I'm picking up, in terms of if I feel at the start of a book I'm really not going to enjoy it, I'm not going to make myself finish it. And that really tends to go for NetGalley books, I find, because sometimes I find that there's like not so much the NetGalley books that I'm requesting now, because I've gotten much better at the ones I'm requesting, the ones I really want to read, but also it's really kind of like my backlist of NetGalley books, the ones I've had for a couple of years and I still haven't reviewed, but some of them are like real kind of, you know, they're not books you'd hear about a lot, like they're smaller publishers, might not be edited as well, might not be as written as well, and sometimes those are a little bit harder to read. Now there are some like hidden gems in there, don't get me wrong, there's some I find I really enjoy from there, but most of the time there have been some where I've been like, oh Jesus, like, and I've forced myself to finish it and I've just wasted my time because I could be reading a book I really enjoy instead of reading those books. So I've already kind of, I DNF'd one book like the second or third day in January that was one of those books where I knew 2 chapters in I was like, yeah, this isn't a book for me, I'm not going to make myself read it. So yeah, so I didn't even put it into my reading wrap up because I'd only read like the first 2 chapters, there was no point, and it wasn't really a well-known book either, so well, I don't think it was like a known book at all. So yeah, in terms of kind of like New Year's goals, resolutions kind of thing, I'm not really doing that. I'm kind of, for myself, I've issued myself a couple of challenges instead of like resolutions and goals. I've challenged myself to something instead of kind of, I say, the firmer action of resolutions. So some of them is like basically what I was talking about in my last walk and talk, which is like kind of cooking, getting fit, kind of that kind of stuff, where I've challenged myself to try and cook 2 new recipes every month, and so far that has worked really well for me because in the first week of January I did that, so that's perfect. It's a train, Desi. It's a train. Oh, what's that? What's that? What is it? To myself, I'm going to buy a nice little notebook at some point in the next few weeks or months or whatever, and what I'm going to do is the recipes I've tried and tested and I really enjoy, I'm going to write them down in those books, or in that notebook, so I have kind of a go-to of ones I really like and I have made before and I find easy to make, or you know, I don't find it much of a problem to make. So that's what I'm going to do. Doing a little bit of journaling this month, kind of with an online journal called Penzu. Here's the thing, I really like bullet journals, and I really love seeing people's bullet journals, but I don't think I am creative in that way where I could make a really nice bullet journal the way a lot of people do. Yeah, I meant to write yesterday. I got into the mood last night where I was like, oh my god, I want to write. Like, I really feel like I need to. No, it wasn't yesterday, it was the day before. I felt like I just wanted to write. I wanted to write fan fiction, which is like really weird, is what I used to do when I was younger. I used to write fan fiction all the time. I had Fred Weasley fan fiction, obviously, but yeah, I just really felt like writing, because I feel like sometimes if you haven't written in a while, fan fiction is a great way to, you know, get back into writing, and then you can go back to like your original fiction or whatever you're writing. Show me your swimming. Go swimming. Show me how you go swim. What's she doing? Okay, she doesn't like me sitting down. So I guess I will sign off here, and until the next one. Again, let me know if there's anything you guys like want me to talk about on these walks or whatever. Yeah, like at the moment I'm just kind of going by the flow, I guess, with these. Just at the time of year, I did want to talk about the fact that reading goals are not for me, which is basically what this vlog is, like goals schmoals kind of thing. So yeah, again, let me know in the comments if there's anything you want me to talk about, or if there's videos you want me to do, that kind of thing, as always. And I'll see you guys again next time.